Do you know what I like the most about Matisse? Nothing. There's not one single painting that make me say, okay, that's the one. Which is weird, because with most painters, it's happening. For Van Gogh, it's the church at Auvers-sur-Oise. For Picasso, it's its famous drawing of Françoise. I know, I have the same taste as Beyoncé, don't judge me. But when it comes to Matisse, there's not a single painting that pops up. I'm thinking about the dance that I've seen at the Louis Vuitton Foundation in Paris, and that painting really impressed me, but that's pretty much it. Truth is, I hated Matisse as a kid, and now I like almost everything he made. Why? Because Matisse is a crazy freaking genius. You don't believe me? Okay, then answer this. Who was the only rival of Pablo Picasso in art history? Matisse. Who invented Fauvism? Matisse. Even if he didn't like the name, Jean Cocteau had a bon mot about it. Matisse went from a wildcat to a Bonnard kitten. It is quite cruel, but I think it is quite accurate. Painters got rid of the subject. Only rendering matters. So a wildcat or a kitten, I don't think Matisse would have cared much for that. Matisse was super broke at the beginning of his wedding before becoming famous and rich. It did not seem to affect him or his work at all. Yes, he got a crisis like all of us. He broke bad at the age of 60 years old. I mean, come on, 60 years old, that is impressive. What did he do? Well, he went on a trip to Tahiti following Gauguin's legacy. Henri Matisse did not paint much as he was spending time in Tahiti. As a matter of fact, he was a perfect tourist. He bought a camera, took photography. Okay, he was a celebrity tourist, so he spent some time with filmmaker Murnau. But that's pretty much it. That's only years later, during the cutouts period, that he will use what probably never left his mind. Now, Matisse is famous for his cutouts, so famous that Andy Warhol wanted to be Matisse. Before he tried and failed Beaux-Arts a few times. And for me, failing is very important in art history. I could make an entire video on failing. It's a key of the career of Matisse and so many others, right? So he failed twice and he was so pissed about that that he pretended to be a Beaux-Arts student and he was like walking around with his drawings. The honeymoon with Emily was spent in Corsica. Perfect introduction to the Oriental fantasy of Henri Matisse. He will then spend decades painting odalisques. Nowadays, the work of the master is around 3.2 millions. Odalisque couché au Magnolia was sold $80.75 million in 2018. I just want to read you a little letter of complaint. Please be kind to ask Monsieur Matisse to keep his ignominious drawings for himself and not let him spread such inappropriate garbage so badly executed into respectful families with infants. Well, clearly this guy will not spend $80 million on a Matisse painting. Who had Picasso painting Les Demoiselles d'Avignon in 1906? Well, it's Matisse. Two reasons. First, Woman with a Hat, 1905, creating a massive scandal in Paris, really impressed Pablo Picasso. Second reason, Gertrude Stein and her brother Leo, massive collectors, nickname Matisse and Picasso the North and South poles of modern painting. The Spaniard had to come up with a response. Les Demoiselles d'Avignon was quite an answer. I don't know if you noticed, but no one in France is buying Matisse. The first to collect Matisse will be a German, Hosthaus, then Stukin, the Russian celebrity, and of course the Stein, representing Americans in Paris. The French completely missed Matisse. Who will revolutionize art history again? Matisse by creating a second movement in art history, the cutouts. Funny enough, it's called by another failure. After his appendicitis, when he was a young man that led his mother to offer him colors just to pass time, this time it's duodenal cancer. That surgery almost killed him, and he spent a lot of time joking about it. I think that tells a lot about the man. As he couldn't technically paint in bed, he will come out with that technique of the cutouts. Before that, Matisse probably came out with the all-over technique. Oh, nothing big, just something on the side he made through his symphonic interiors. The all-over will inspire painters such as Lee Krasner, Jackson Pollock, or William de Kooning. So who's the crazy freaking genius now? And because nowadays we're not supposed to compare the life and the work of an artist, well, I'm gonna do it. Beware of the image of the old man with a cat. I prefer to see him as in this portrait. I called him portrait as Picasso. So he had a first daughter, Marguerite, with the help in the house, Caroline. Then he married Amélie, but just after the wedding, he left with an Italian model. Clearly, that guy likes changing. And one of his teachers, William Bougreau, told one day Matisse, "My poor friend, you will never become a painter because you don't understand perspective." Well, I guess I was thinking without Henri Matisse, who saved us on this one. That's it for today. Thank you very much. Next video is coming very soon, of course. Till then, do not forget what my yoga teacher used to say. If you're not doing it with a smile, well, you're doing it wrong. You guys take care.
Let's dance.